flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
What is going on, Hive? Long time no see. Today is the second stream of July 23rd. I'm going to start this stream by reading the quote on the bottom. It says, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch without doing anything." And one thing that I feel so confident about is that this stream is doing something. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit back, or Phoenix is going to sit back, or Mrs. Birdie, or anybody else in here and just watch something happen and not do anything about it when you believe to your core who you are as a person that something is not right. I'm not trying to get up here and be a preacher by any means, but I've been thinking a lot, as I'm sure everybody in here has, about what are we going to do when we just watched such a cluster unfold right in front of our eyes in real time. The way that I'm looking at this is really quite simple. What we saw was a bunch of pain paraded around for cameras in a courtroom full of people who seem like they're playing a role. While the truth, the most important aspect of this, gets buried deeper and deeper beneath that courthouse's floors. It's under the foundation at that point. The sad part is that millions of people, even those in the courthouse, millions of people, they clapped, they nodded, and then those same millions of people just went back to their lunch break believing that this story is over. That is the power of the mainstream media. But that's also because that's what NPCs do. I've said that a lot today. I don't know how else to describe it. A normie, an NPC, they don't question, they just comply, no matter what. Doesn't matter what the news is saying. It doesn't matter what situation is, whatever the current thing is. They don't question it. They just comply. It's not about Bryan Kohberger. It's about power to the people, control by the people. And it's also about how far they will go to sell a lie. And it's even more concerning than that is that how many people are going to buy it simply because they're too afraid to ask the right questions. They don't know to ask the right questions, or probably the worst of the worst is that they think it's all credible. They've gone through their entire lives just head down. The government's going to watch over me. The news isn't going to lie to me. I actually was talking to myself prior to the stream saying, don't get worked up. You did a rant at the end of the last stream. Try to take the emotion and turn it and weaponize it into logic. We do need to figure out a way to get to the bottom of this. We have to work smart. What are the things that we're going to press on? What are the nerves that we're going to press that even the most normie of normies will go, that's actually a good point. As we all know in here, once you take that red pill, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So that is the goal. Again, I've been talking about this. If you weren't in the first live, I really, really, really want to do a good job at promoting the roundtable, Scott Payne and Ali Benevento. I know the Hive always turns out, but especially with the next few days coming up, I'd really like to dive in as deep as we can go on the sentencing stuff so that when we are with the roundtable on Sunday, we feel like we've not exhausted everything, but we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, Scott will be a good refresher to talk about, some other stuff that we then could use and piece together the following day with Ali and what she thinks as a trial defense lawyer, hopefully gaining some insight from Scott on what is it that the public is not ready to hear about undercover operations. And Palantir stock at one point was almost up 5.3%. By the time I screenshot it was only up almost 4%. And we're talking about a $5-6 increase pre-sentence, post-sentence. Maybe it's something, maybe it's not, but I'm not surprised. I'll read this quick. Now, this bottom paragraph is what I want everyone to pay attention to. Forward indicators look bright for Palantir as well. Just in the first quarter, it closed 139 deals with customers worth over $1 million. plus an additional 31 deals worth at least 10 million. As the AI operating system for large enterprises, Palantir is proving its worth and seeing huge spending from these customers. The last sentence of of this part is the U.S. Department of Defense alone has contracts worth over $1 billion with Palantir, with room to expand over time. And if you all remember the analogy that I gave between $1 million and $1 billion, I converted it to time. So 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is almost 32 years.
Yeah.
Years.
Looking back when the police officers knocked on my door, told me what happened to my child, told me what happened to Maddie Mae, I don't think he was even out of the driveway before my kids turned around, looked at me and said, "What do we do, Dad?" I told him, "You get to work."
I see the point maybe he's trying to make about like mentality, but wouldn't you be absolutely sobbing your eyes out, crying, devastated? You're saying before the cops even got out of the driveway, you're telling your daughters get to work. Am I the only person that's trying to put a human factor into this that's watching it? Whether it's exaggerated or not for the sense of this court, understand I'm acknowledging that. But it just seems a very weird dynamic to say.
I agree. When I heard him say this, I was like, wait a minute. What is this really about? Because he didn't even mention much about Kaylee. And a victim's impact statement is an impression on the court of the loss of that victim.
You get your ass to work. And we started calling, we started texting, we started emailing. And you know what? Within hours, we had your white car on the camera. We knew from the very beginning we had you. Police officers tell us within minutes they had your DNA, like a calling card. You were that careless.
Wait, what? I didn't even realize that the first time.
They had your DNA.
DNA within minutes?
Police officers tell us within minutes they had your DNA, like a calling card. You were that.
Like a calling card. Dude.
Calling card.
Dude.
Oh, God.
Minutes, they knew that he was going to be the scapegoat.
Yes. They needed one.
And it's a call.
It's a calling card.
Please retrieve your nearest tinfoil hat. Place hat firmly on your head. Prepare yourself.
Dude, come on. Come on.
They had him in his back pocket.
They knew his car. Yeah, like to somebody that just said, sorry, I forgot the name who said that. They went through 22,000 Elantras in a couple hours, and then they had his DNA within minutes, like a calling card. Because I thought that what they found the DNA on also wasn't found on the first pass. So either we are being lied to in the documents, or this is just a movie.
Okay.
Or we're dealing with something that nobody can. You walk into Idaho, you walk into the portal of hell, and you get amnesia. I have no idea.
And it didn't work.
God help us. Keep an eye on his eyes throughout this, everybody. He's blinking, but I can see his eyes. How is that possible? He is blinking right here. Eyes open, eyes closed. Tell me how that is possible, everybody. When she says, take off the mask so we can see who you really are, I'm starting to think, shit, maybe he doesn't have any facial expressions because somebody's wearing a damn mask. And that's why the eyes look weird. I don't know. But again, call me crazy. That's what we do here in the stream. We say whatever comes to your mind. So, Phoenix, can you explain how this man's eyes are closed yet they're open? That is a complete blink. And tell me that you cannot see his eyes. Closed, open, closed, open. How does this happen? Is there anybody in here that is good with cameras? Because when I look it up, the only logical thing that it says it could make sense is that it's a low quality filter, it's an eye enhancing filter, or there's a frame rate mismatch to a shutter roll effect. But that's where it really is like a live photo, or it's just one side of your face usually moves when the other one doesn't. That's not what this is. I have no idea. What do you mean, Chris? Why don't I show the truth? Is that sarcastic? I'm not sure how to take that. Yeah, what does that mean?
Then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see. You didn't create devastation. You revealed it in yourself. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty. You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else. Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others. You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin. Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so. All of that effort just to seem important. It's desperate. There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it. Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important. You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You work so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't get it. And then the claps. I don't get it.
That was disrespectful. I've never heard, and I've been in court in criminal cases. I have never heard anyone being this disrespectful. They didn't focus it on their loved ones, like I said, in a victim's impact statement. That statement should be impacting the judge to give him the harshest penalties.
And the claps. I've watched cases where you'll hear, somebody make a little whisper and it's order. Did anybody hear one order today?
Mm-mm.
I didn't.
That's the only time he turns away. Distract. That is weird.
Next is Christy Gonzalez, Kaylee Gonzalez's mother.
Is it me, or does it look like he's being starved?
He doesn't look like the same dude from a couple weeks ago,
Weeks
or
ago.
whatever it was. Yeah, that would have been on what this? That was
The second.
Yeah, so the first
Where's his
week.
tan?
Maybe they realized that people were onto it. They're like, Brian, we're going to starve you, and you're sitting in a cell. We have to sell this.
Maybe.
Thank you, Your Honor. I never imagined having to speak to someone so devoid of humanity. For a long time, I didn't think I'd find the words low enough to meet you where you are. But now I realize this isn't about you. It's about what you've done to me, and I need you to hear it. When you murdered my daughter, Kaylee J. Gonzalez, you didn't just take her life, you shattered others. You attacked what you could never be, and in doing so, you left a trail of devastation far beyond that house. You stole my peace. You've altered my every waking moment, every sleepless night, the way I view the world, people, safety, trust. It's all been changed by your cruelty. I no longer recognize parts of myself. Joy is harder to find. Laughter feels foreign. The world moves forward, but I'm suspended in a place of sorrow and rage. You've taken from me something that can never be restored. The grief sits with me every day, some days quietly, and other days so loud it drowns out everything else. The emotional toll you've inflicted on me is immeasurable. I live with a constant ache, with birthdays that are now memorials, with holidays that feel hollow, with empty chairs that scream louder than words ever could. I am forever changed. But for you, as a person working on a PhD in criminal justice, you really didn't think this one through. You're not that good. In fact, you're not that good at anything. You couldn't secure a job. You couldn't get along with others. You couldn't even get a female to look in your direction. All because you are pathetic.
Oh, man. And Dawn, I have not been to my P.O. box. Thank you for sending me James Patterson's book. I have to go pick it up. I'm going to read that, and I'm going to kind of steal Truth and Transparency's idea where she did like a list of 25 things. I'm going to do a similar thing. I don't think I'll do 25. Maybe I'll just do like my top 10 things from the book that are kind of odd. I think that was a good idea. It was fun when she did that. And then I just want to share a story too, real quick. I said this in the Discord, but this was really awesome. And I don't know if this person's in here, but this made Mrs. Birdie and I's night getting this. So somebody wrote me an email and they said, "Hey, Birdie, my name is, and I'm helping my 6-year-old son reach out to you. His dad's a huge fan of yours, and now he wants to send you a little care package to say thank you in his own way. He made a few colorful bracelets by hand just for you, picked out the colors himself and everything. Would you be open to sharing your P.O. box or mailing address where we could send it? He's really proud of it and would be over the moon knowing you received them." So I think that's so cool. And I said, obviously, I said, absolutely. That's awesome. And I tried to make it funny where I wrote a little message to this 6-year-old, and I was saying like, thanks so much for making me the bracelets. Now listen, you may only be 6, but you've already done something most people twice your age are too scared to do. You created something and you sent it out into the world. That's how legends are made. And I said, I'll let you in on a secret. You're one of the lucky ones. You've got parents who aren't NPCs. Ask your dad what that means. He'll laugh.
You have such a way with words, Bertie.
Yeah.
I mean, even the email that you copied me on that we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just have a way with words, and I sure appreciate you guys. I appreciate the Hive, everything that you've done in the last couple of months, and it's just been wild.
It has been. It's been incredible. I will be back on tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Normal schedule, Sunday. I cannot wait for that roundtable. I'm telling you, we got a great group again, and I'm very excited for it. So, Hive, take a breath, relax. Remember that this case is just getting started. There's going to be a lot of evidence that's going to come out. It's going to be unsealed. People are going to talk. We will get to the bottom of this. And what's more important is that we start to ask questions in a smarter way. Make this make sense. Questions that are worded in a way where you don't have to have followed it as deeply as we have. I think that's going to be an effective strategy. Because this case, while yes, it's important, if Bryan really didn't do this, which I don't believe that he did, at least not by himself, we all probably feel similar. What's really important is that we stop getting got by the news. We got to stop getting hoodwinked. We got to stop falling for this sensationalized headline drama.
Yep. Stop getting got.
Yeah, stop getting got. So, Hive, thank you all to everybody that tuned in this evening. Thank you to everybody who was here for the live stream of the sentencing. I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers, everybody.
Take care, Bertie. Have a good night.
Care,
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Take care, everybody.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.